I came across this post in the Dating Over 40 subreddit. This is a man with kids and he's dating a child-free woman. And it just goes to show some of their intentions or some of the things that they think about when they are looking for a partner. Anyways, I do want to let y'all know I am outside and my coworkers are birds, and periodically there are some dogs walking by. So if you hear my coworkers, that is why, because I'm outside before it gets too hot. All right, let's jump into this post. He titles it "Dad Dating a Childless Woman." So obviously we don't know if she's childless or child-free. Child-free meaning that this is the lifestyle she is choosing willingly, like she does not want any kids. He doesn't make that clear. Anyways, he's 49, she's 43. He says, "I've been exclusively dating a wonderful woman for 7 months now. I have two tween kids, 50-50, divorced 8 years, did have a long-time relationship of 6 years during that time." So he's been divorced 8 years. He had a long-term relationship for 6 of those years. So he is used to having a woman around. So that probably plays an issue in this as well. He says her being childless, has a busy lifestyle, hanging out with friends and going to events. Career is also taking time for both of us. She does make time for us on my off days. She has met my kids a few times, but she is reticent to get more involved with family activities. Kids are very chill with me dating. I am not looking for her to be a stepmom. This was made clear by me, but I do hope to have her part of the family dynamics at some point. This is starting to feel like a friends with benefits or situationship. Parents dating non-parents. How is it going? Are my expectations unrealistic? And then I guess he started getting comments. He says, "Amazing feedback with multiple perspectives. This is all helpful, even the uncomfortable comments. Thank you so much." To me, it sounds like this woman has balance. She's not putting this man first. She's not allowing him to suck up all of her time, energy, and resources. That she is putting him in, like he gets in where he fits in. She's still hanging out with her friends. She's still going to work. She's still got her hobbies or whatnot. And periodically, she'll pop in. She likes the companionship of this man, but she's not willing to have revolve around him. She's not going to allow him to suck up all of her life. And I love that for her. Why is she dating a man with kids? I don't know. He would probably have to ask her that. But they have been dating exclusively for 7 months. And this seems like the amount of time that you should be dating. I mean, the amount of involvement that she should be doing. But he is probably looking to attach to some woman so he can suck her dry, because like I said up here, he's been divorced for 8 years. 6 of those years he's been in a long-term relationship. So he's used to having a woman around, because now even at 7 months, so over 6.5 years of the time of being divorced, he has had a woman around. So he's going to have to figure out, why is it that he needs a woman around? It's because he's used to a woman being that soft landing space or doing the things that he has expectations of a woman. So that's probably the reason why he's wondering, am I being unrealistic? Probably, because he probably thinks that women are supposed to be here to just do these things that men are not typically supposed to do. Like, he got married for a reason. He's like, the woman's supposed to do this stuff. When I have my kids, I need her here. Now, I'm not looking for her to be a full-time stepmom, because my ex has the kids the other half of the time. So that's what I think. He's looking to attach, to suck her dry, at least half the time, but she's not going for that. And he's confused, because he had this long-term relationships of 6 years, and I guess she was willing for a while, and then that woman bounced. Y'all weigh in. Let's look at some of these comments. DOF throw all the way away said, hones in on, are my expectations unrealistic, saying only one person can answer that. Luckily you're dating her, so that will speed things up. So yes, go ask that woman. Smarty Girl says the answer to 90% of the questions in this sub. Seriously though, OP describes a great situation. When he's kid free, she spends time with him. When he's not, she gets to do all the other stuff that's important to her. It can be hard to find that balance of time together, time apart. But it sounds like it's working really well for the OP's girlfriend. Right. It's like balance. She has it. He's probably confused because he's used to like having someone consistently cater to him. And he's like, what is going on? She's not always here with me 24/7 or when I need her. Like, I think that this is going to blow these men's mind, especially as more and more women opt out of children on purpose. Witch Brew at the bottom says, that would be my perfect situation. Fake pre-war book says, this would be ideal for me too. 46-year-old woman, childless. But my boyfriend, like the OP, sees it as automatic that I should want to be with him 24/7. I wonder if this dynamic is starting to be pretty common. I think it might be, because I do believe that many of these men really have romanticized a woman wanting to be with them all the time. And they are getting a little confused as women are like opting to have some balance and still try to keep a life. And that's what I have been talking about. Like, keep your friends, keep your hobbies, keep yourself. Don't just pour completely into a man. And these dudes are like, what is going on here? Chad says, I think 7 months is not that long to still be hesitant to get involved with kids. That adds a whole big layer of feelings and relationships to handle, and it raises the stakes of what a breakup looks like if it unfortunately happens. I try to appreciate it if she wants to enjoy some sort of honeymoon period with you where it's just the two of you for a while. There you go. Sandy Sadie says, what did she say when you asked her what she's looking for in a relationship? He didn't yet answer the question. None of this matters says child-free, not childless. And yes, your expectations are too high. This is exactly why I avoid men with kids. I'm not looking to hang out with your kids. Why would I? I barely even like kids. Nashville Boiler says this 100. If I wanted to be around kids, I would have had some. And then this tall ad says, but she knows he has kids and has made the choice to date him for 7 months. And that's a valid point. But maybe she's not comfortable like getting involved with the kids just yet. Maybe she wants to see if it sticks and stays, because some of these people do bring kids in way too soon, and maybe she's just really not willing to do that right now. Like people have been saying, he needs to speak to her. Lopsided Telephone says, and she dates him, not the kids. And by the sound of it, it goes amazing. The guy doesn't know what he wants and will sabotage the good relationship. None of this matters says, exactly. I'm dating him, not the kids. Now, we got Meat Tat Midnight saying, he wants her to stop hanging out with her friends and donate her time and energy to him. Maybe cook a dinner for him and the kids on Friday evening instead of having her child-free plans after 7 months. And I think that is precisely what he's looking for. And his mind is blown that this woman, like, she's literally a woman. She's not stopping what she's doing and like becoming domestic. I think that this is really I think is really where they are. They think that we are wired to just do domestic labor for them. But then Divorced Woman at the bottom tall ad says, seem weird to choose to date someone with kids if you have no interest in ever being around the kids. But we don't know if she never has any intention of being around the kids. That's just what tall ad says at the bottom. We don't know that for sure. She might be comfortable with being around the kids. Maybe she just does not want to play the caretaker of the home. So I do think that women need to disabuse themselves from the notion that you can be around somebody, but you don't have to go in and start playing domestic servant. You do not have to go in and start being a wife appliance or a girlfriend appliance. You can take a step back from that. And I don't think that Tall Ad has learned that yet, but other women are. Anyways, let me know what you think of this. I thought it was kind of interesting to see. And I do believe that these men are starting to realize that, maybe our gravy train of being able to use women for unpaid labor, maybe that gravy train is coming to an end. Let me know what you think, though. I thought this was interesting. I was tagged in this post in the 2X chromosome subreddit, and it really just goes to show the importance of women having some backup plans. Plans B, C, D, E, F, G, elemental P, all of the plans. And I know I typically say that in regards to trad wives or stay-at-home moms, but women in general, when it comes to thinking that you can rely on a peen haver, you need to be able to stand on your own just in case, because they could pull the rug at any moment. Have a sense of self-preservation. So she posted in the 2X chromosomes, my boyfriend is scared and trusting him has left me with 3 weeks to secure housing and move. She says, I swear I keep finding out over and over again that you cannot rely on a partner, especially when so much is on the line. For me, this time it's housing. My boyfriend and I have been together for a little over a year. I am mid-30s, he's late 30s. We've been talking about wanting to live together and working towards that for about 6 months. He's never lived with a partner and expressed anxieties, but assured me that he really wants it with me and it will happen, just a matter of when. I believed he meant that. He's been a little slower than me to want relationship progress, but he's doing it and I haven't felt like I'm waiting too long. I'm the first girl he's introduced to family since high school. It's been so good between us. Well, now I'm questioning my judgment completely. My landlord gave me 7 weeks notice to be out of my current house, month-to-month lease, only 30-day notice required. I began searching for places, and the idea of my boyfriend and I living together came up again. He told me it still feels a little soon, but he sees it happening in the next few months. I was upset with the idea of moving a whole house only to move again in a few months, and told him that would be really hard and asked if he could see it happening by the time my lease was over. Then he invited me to live with him. It seemed genuine. I was hesitant to accept and express that to him, but he reassured me he wants it and would be ready. I stupidly stopped looking at places and trusted him. I have told my family this was happening. I've been getting rid of so much stuff so we didn't have duplicates. I got things to help organize the place and not to not overwhelm him. I've deep cleaned his kitchen, bathrooms, etc., all with the excitement, knowing that this will be our home. I'm 3 weeks away from needing to be out. We had a plan that I'd be out of my house in 2 weeks to give me time to deep clean. 2 days ago, my boyfriend decided to tell me he isn't sure if he's ready. He tells me he doesn't want to lose us, but I have 3 weeks to find somewhere to live and to move. I'm in a tough area to find something in 7 weeks, let alone 3. Our conversations since have been full of tears. I'm shocked he could do this, and he keeps saying he's just not ready and sorry he was afraid to bring it up sooner. Oh my God. My main concern isn't us living together or not anymore. It's trying to figure this out in 3 weeks and wondering if I can ever trust him again. He doesn't understand the situation he's left me in and is now offering to help find a place. I'm heartbroken and scared. I don't have any backup. I should have had a backup. Oh my goodness, this literally just drives home the fact that, yeah, and she even said it in the very beginning. She says, I keep finding out over and over and over again that you cannot rely on a partner. She's found that out like real life living example. And, you know, we have these conversations here and we are trying to deprogram some of the notions that we have about relationships and decentering men. And I do believe that if we keep on having these conversations, women will learn to lean more on themselves and less on the peen haver, because these peen havers can pull the rug from under you without giving a damn about the implications for your life. They can leave, they can create whole families, have a wife and a kid, and kids plural, and just leave. They'll be perfectly, like they would just be skipping through life, go out and find a whole nother wife to live with or whatnot, and not give a damn about that first family. So please know and understand that they have that capacity to multitask, to compartmentalize, and say, you know what, I'm not feeling this, and I don't give a damn what happens to you. So you, woman, that is watching this, you with a daughter who may be watching this, please teach your daughter, please learn yourself that you need to have some plan. B, C, D, E, F, G, elemental P, all of the plans for a fallback just in case, because you never know. Have a sense of self-preservation. So the first person, ARC 2468, says, this guy, oh my effing God, I don't know what it is about some people that they A, won't say how they really feel about something that affects them, B, are much more concerned about how they feel than the actual needs of life, like having shelter. I kind of hate him just by hearing this story, not only because it's unreliable behavior, but the lack of consideration and empathy are really the nails in the coffin for me. You're telling me a grown man in his late 30s couldn't think of a better option than leading you on and pulling the rug out last minute, and that he doesn't understand why that's a huge betrayal and anxiety. Unless he's really privileged and never had to worry about housing or money, I kind of think that's BS from him. I'm sorry this happened to you. I feel a lot of pain, anger, and grief from reading your story, and I know that's probably a drop in the bucket compared to what you're feeling. Stay strong. And here's the OP saying, I know. He's had a very privileged life, and I actually just told him that not everyone has the same resources to fall back on. He doesn't understand. And then this person, Pion Zero, says, oh, BS. He understands. He doesn't care. His wants are his priority. Your needs don't even make the list. He wants his space to remain exclusively his own, but he also wants an occasional companion who shows up to fulfill his wants without imposing on his home. Recyclopath, I like that name, says that he can use some of those privileged resources to soften this blow. Instead of crying and whining and wasting more of your time, he can financially compensate you for the cleaning and organizing to replace everything you sold with new equivalents for the security deposit you now have to pay up front to make it possible for you to find temporary housing in an Airbnb for a month or two if needed. Yes, thousands of dollars. If he actually cared, he would do this instead of just like crying and hand wringing. No, make it financially feasible, especially since she sold her stuff. She came over and was deep cleaning his house. Come on now. Like, he was perfectly fine with accepting her, labor. She came in and cleaned his home, and then she was going to clean her home. Like, I just get exhausted of what women do for these people. This is the reason why I just really want women to hear some of these stories and pull way, 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 way back. Just pull back. Stop doing this stuff for them for free. It makes me, this is bad. The OP says, thank you, you're right. I wish I knew what to do or say, if anything. I've told him that trust is broken and I don't see us getting through this together. He thinks it's me being upset he isn't ready. Like the county says, he doesn't think you're upset because he's not ready. He's trying to drive that narrative so he doesn't have to be the bad guy. It doesn't matter how many times you tell him that the not ready is fine. You stringing me along while I sold my stuff and cleaned your house only to pull the rug from out under me. What at the last minute is what broke us. He will refuse to hear it because it puts him at fault, and he doesn't want to be at fault. He needs to be able to spin this in a way that it makes sense why she left, or like he can just kind of soften his narrative or the part that he played in it when he starts talking to his friends. He's probably aware that this is over. What's a Simba says, yep, because if he's not getting it now to OP's face, you just know he's got the whole she wanted to move in, but I wasn't ready narrative queued up for sympathy from friends and family. The audacity to screw her over, then want her to make him feel better about it is, I'd love to say wild, but I've put up with my share of guys putting forth a lackluster effort and still thinking things were worth salvaging. And then Brusque Biscuit says, you're 100% correct. Even the I'm scared seems like a setup to ignoring or hiding his accountability by making his feelings more precious than the consequences. And with that, I'm going to end it there. This is just a reminder that these people will look out for themselves first and foremost. Please know this and understand this and move accordingly. Join the conversation. Share with some young woman, some young girl. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. This post is a 2-for-1. First, we're going to hear some words from a man, and then we're going to hear words from a woman and how women are just tired and are opting out. First, I have been talking about this concept of a wife appliance. Also, a girlfriend appliance applies if you're not yet married. How they will get a woman and she is literally an appliance to make his life easier, to cook, clean, blah, 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 all of the things that they expect. Now, this is a short comment from Evermore Thomas. He says, what other purpose do you have if not sex? Man wants to talk about his problems and fears. Y'all say go to therapy. Man wants a home-cooked meal or a clean house, and it's you're not his slave. You don't want to contribute to the financial health of the relationship. So what purpose do you serve? In this, and even at the bottom, I didn't even underline the financial health of the situation, of the relationship. So that implies go to work also. So in this short post, Evermore Thomas lets us know that he expects to have a therapist, a chef, and a house cleaner, and someone that is going off to work, all in one woman. Would these expectations not wear down most women? And that's what most women are seeing and understanding where it comes to relationships with men, that men are literally draining life force out of women. They're attaching to a woman and expecting her to do all of these things. And what are their expectations? What expectations do women have of them? To be supportive, to be loving, to do the things that's supposed to go into a relationship. But most men are not even doing the bare minimum of the standards that women have. And women have some basement level standards. But they are so used to seeing women as a servant of sorts, the caretaker of the house, the bang maid, and an incubator, and that's it. This man put all of these things, 4 different things that are typically like paid, and he's like, this is what I expect out of a relationship. But women are not getting any kind of compensation. A lot of this is unpaid labor, but it's still draining to a woman. So then this woman, Aussie Meg, made this comment where she posted what these jobs would typically pay. She says, then pony up some of that money. And it listed what stay-at-home moms would get paid if they got paid. Childcare would typically be over $42,000. A housekeeper, over $14,000. A chef, same thing, over $14,000. And then you can see that she's just listing things. Emotional support, close to $8,000. Event planning, $3,000. These men want all of these things in one woman with very little support, with very little input of their own. They expect to go to work and just pay their household bills, but they don't see that the things that they ask for, like, why can't I just get a therapist, a chef, a house cleaner, a bang maid? Why can't I just get that all? They really want this at basement level prices. Like, I'm going to buy me all of these things in one appliance, and it's going to be amazing. This is the reason why so many women are getting a divorce or opting to stay single, because they are seeing the expectations are literally just draining the life force of women. This name is funny. Umberkali Bunyip says, if you want a home-cooked meal and a clean house, why aren't you cooking yourself a meal and cleaning your house? These are basic skills of adulthood. And then Evermore Thomas says, women get on social media stating what they won't do for a man while also having their list of requirements in a man. That's all good, but what does the man get out of this deal? From here, it seems like nothing, and I feel bad for single dudes if this is what's out there for them. So they literally have this expectation that women are supposed to just come in and do all of these things. And we see some iteration of this every single day, at least 17 to 26 times a day. It's very apparent. All right, so, and then this person at the bottom calls him a leech, and that's basically what it is. I call them parasites. I say they're attaching to a host, but we just call them a leech or whatever. All right, so that is one person. And this is precisely how we're getting to the point where women are just tired. Like, this woman made a video, and I was going to bring this in, and it just perfectly connected with that Evermore Thomas comment. Women are literally just tired. She put this out, and this has, well, when I took the screenshot of this, it had close to 4,000 comments on it. And I made other videos where women are just speaking their minds about why they are opting out. They are opting out because these dudes are literally having the expectation of you having like 5 to 6 to 7 or 8 different occupations in the home, and you still got to go out and work as well. Women are tired.
You ever just think to yourself and be like, I just don't like men at this moment. I don't know what it is. I don't like men. Like, I'm not gay. I'm not into girls, but I just don't. It's just like, what am I getting out of this? Like, besides a heartbreak or you disappoint me. What I'm getting out of this, brother? What I'm getting out of this? At this point, I'm looking at a relationship as a business. Like, I don't even care about men. Like, men irritate me so bad. And I hate when men come up to me and ask for my number. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care how much money you got. If you ain't giving it to me, I don't care. And no, you ain't getting no cookie for it. I don't know. I'm so tired of men. They irritate me.
So some of the comments on this post. Lena says, my male-centered friends made me feel very crazy for saying this exact same thing. So thank you. Very validating. Laughing my butt off. My homie Kitty Cat Scratches says, and those male-centered friends be so annoying. Girl, bye. Find a hobby. I'm 53 and they still be some goofy fossils. Backup account says, that's why the single aunties are the happiest. Melanin Beauty says, they're a waste of time. Focus on yourself. Alley Cat says, we're evolving and they're not. That's why we all feel the same way. And look, this is just a blank account, but black woman, we got a white woman, all these different women across the social media platforms, across race, across culture, are saying very similar things. These dudes better get it together because so many different women are opting out on purpose. Andrea says, every time I encounter men, I get financial stress, heartbreak, or medical issues. Janae Ting says, I get upset when one talks to me. Dreams Speak Life says, it's giving, the food don't taste the same. Little Bad Black says, never been so uninterested in my life. I swear I just said this. Anaya says, they be wanting you to cook. Like, no. Sydney says, girl, it's all of us. Emily says, keep this attitude and come back in a year and just marvel in the progress in your life you've made. It's wild how much you level up when you take them out of the equation. ICT says, I was called a misandrist. At first I was mad. Then I simply accepted. Women are like, call me whatever you want. Call me what you like. I don't care at this point. I'm over it. And I keep posting this. I keep sharing what women are saying because across the board, it just seems like at the exact same time, women are saying these things. And is it a coincidence? I don't know. But this is what women are saying, so I'm sharing. Join the conversation. Share your stories. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.